So last time I talked about the creator clash, we discussed how Froggy Fresh had been kicked from the event for, well, we're actually not really sure at this point. Some said it was because he pointed out that Aneesa Jamha's mom was making fun of him on Twitter. Some said it was because he went to hang out with Sam Hyde, who, as many of you know, iDubbbz has a bit of a beef with because of the documentary that he made last year. Well, there's been some more updates since the news first came out, and it's basically just made the general public even more mad at iDubbbz and Aneesa. And it really has cast a bad light on the creator clash event in general, with many believing that their unfair treatment of Froggy is enough to shame and discredit the event altogether. This has been covered by Keemstar, Scarce just made a video about it, Critical tweeted about it calling it dumb. Really, the entire sort of drama news internet is weighing in here, and it's really gone mainstream at this point in a way that I never expected it to.
Aneesa's mom is mad, so now I'm kicked out the event.
When I first got into this, I thought that a few people would be angry about it. Maybe some of Sam's fans, maybe some of Keem's fans, some commentary people, but at this point, this has reached super high places. I mean, Philip DeFranco made a video talking about this. And so for our first update on all of this, on March 28th, the Creator Clash Twitter account put out a statement saying the following. As you may be aware, we recently announced Froggy Fresh would be leaving the Creator Clash 2 ticket. We want to provide some additional information around the rationale for this decision to help clarify some of the online chatter. We have a legally binding code of conduct that each of our Creator Clash 2 fighters are held to, the violation of which is grounds for termination. Unfortunately, there were several violations made by Froggy Fresh during his tenure with Creator Clash this year. The Creator Clash 2 team, inclusive of the production company, takes violations seriously and made several unsuccessful attempts to address them directly with Froggy Fresh in the hopes we could work together to get things back on track. When it became clear that the exhibited behavior wasn't stopping, at risk to the other fighters, fans, and others involved in the event, the Creator Clash 2 team made the collective decision to move forward without Froggy Fresh on the ticket. The priority is ensuring Creator Clash 2 is a positive, safe, welcome space for everyone. And a lot of people were very unsatisfied with the statements for a few reasons. Firstly, they never actually directly say why he was kicked, and a lot of people basically demand some kind of explanation for why he was removed, you know? Is it just because he trained with Sam for a few days? Is it because he laughed at Aneesa's mom when she called him an imp and said he should be kicked from the event? Or is it because he made a joke saying that if he lost, he would subscribe to Aneesa's OnlyFans? We really just do not know, and I think some people would like just a little bit of transparency on this entire thing, rather than being left in the dark. And especially when someone like iDubbbz is the one putting on the event, the idea that the internet edgelord of yesteryear is now kicking someone out because they made a joke about his wife's job is pretty insulting, right? It feels like a huge smack in the face to his old audience, especially after clips from his recent interview came out where he basically says that he hates his old fans because of some interactions that he had with them in public where they were parroting stuff he said in videos.
I did not like the interactions that I had with fans. There were quite a few human beings that I interacted with that just sucked because I attracted a lot of people who sucked. Some people were very much like antisocial, weird, basement dwellers. You know, the one time a month that they come out of their cave and they run into me, their favorite YouTuber.
And what would they say? What would they do?
Things that I am certainly not going to repeat.
And Froggy actually responded to this statement saying, "Are you talking about when Ian called me for the third time ever, 15 minutes after Sam Hyde retweeted me to investigate my friendship with Sam Hyde, and then asking that I don't release any content with Sam Hyde until after the event? Haven't released any Sam Hyde content. Still kicked?" And so here Froggy's basically saying that he was treated unfairly, he was kicked unjustly, and he never really had a clear outline of like what he was or wasn't supposed to do. And when they indicated something to him about how he shouldn't, release content with Sam, he never did, and despite that, he was kicked from the event. Or are you talking about me responding to Justin Tracy every time he reached out to me, and me asking that we keep everything in text and email so I could have evidence of everything that was communicated? Never received any texts or emails after that. I was never given any notice of violations. I got one email minutes before you went public about my termination. Justin Tracy emailed me while I was in Providence working with Sam. I asked that he could text or email me as I was busy training with Sam. He never texted or emailed. So I guess what he's saying here is that the communication just wasn't, up to snuff on their end. He kind of got caught off guard with what they really wanted him to do, and they basically just booted him minutes after letting him know that it would be happening. And he also responded by saying, "Who tried to reach out to me several times, and what are the several violations?" He seems kind of in the dark about this. Now, obviously, you're gonna have to kind of take Froggy at his word for this. We don't know all the details. iDubbbz and Aneesa have really not said much. They haven't said anything specific in the way of like, this is what happened, or we told him this, at which point he did this, you know? Because at a certain point, like, if they really didn't want fighters interacting with Sam, if they had told him that up front, like ahead of time, you know, at the beginning of the 9 months of training, and then he went on to violate that, then that will be one thing. But in this case, it seems like they never really were clear about that being like a big no-no for them, especially given that Harley, Epic Mealtime, went to train with, you know, Sam before, and he was still allowed to fight on a card at the first Creator Clash. So I really don't know what the, you know, what the expectation is here for Froggy Fresh. And following this, things started heating up when Froggy claimed that he was being threatened with a lawsuit if he kept talking about this mess that was going on. And once again, with Ian being so edgy in the past, the idea that he would sue someone for talking him or making fun of his girlfriend or hanging out with someone he does not like is fucking insane, right? I think honestly, if Ian did go through with a lawsuit, that would be the total end of whatever goodwill he has left with his fan base, because it would just show that, you know, he and his wife are oversensitive bullies who cannot take what they dish out. Ian spent years on the internet relentlessly bullying people in videos, bullying Leafy, you know, making fun of Keemstar, and that's all cool. Like, that's fun. That's comedy, you know? I'm totally for that, you know? But when someone, you know, throws it back at him, he threatens a lawsuit, I mean, that would be ridiculous if true. Now, and we just don't know if it's true. Now, if legal action actually takes place remains to be seen. As of now, we've seen no further statement from iDubbbz or anyone from his camp about this, but it really is a sad state of affairs, you know? When I was watching his stuff back in the day, watching Content Cop, watching Bad Unboxing, I never would have imagined we could be where we are today with him, you know? It's really disappointing. Thankfully, in light of the impending legal action, which, you know, may or may not happen, Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers said that he would be covering legal fees if anything goes down, so that was very nice of him, you know? People were talking about fundraising for him and getting him some money, something that I would pitch in legal fees if, you know, if that started, right? Because I'd want to help him out. I've been told that Froggy Fresh is not in a, you know, the best financial situation in the world, but if Mutahar is going to cover it, then, you know, that's always nice to hear, right? Now, since all of this went down a few days ago, Sam only became more involved with the drama as a whole. He took some shots at Ian, he took some shots at Anissa, he said their statement was really bad and they never should have posted it. He posted this joke tweet basically like, you know, playing up the fact that it's so dumb, saying, "This actually puts the matter to bed for me personally, handled with taste and not in a vague corporate way at all. Glad I can move on and actually enjoy these star-studded fights featuring," looks at nose confusedly, "Jack Manifold and Abelina Sabrina." And he also went after Dad, or Nathan Barnett, someone who you probably remember fought in the first Creator Clash. He previously defended Anissa by saying, "Ignore internet slime lords. Anissa is amazing and cares about people. She calls fighters just to ask how we're doing. Ian and Anissa are trying to put on a fun event. No one has time or cares for drama. Ones who start it shouldn't be rewarded in the same as the ones being kind."
But these people, in all seriousness, these guys like Dad, whose swag is unforgivable. It's theater kid unhinged with a $0 budget.
Yeah.
Theater kid gone wild with no money.
Gone wrong.
This guy is the definition of the phrase "gone wrong."
And this is, of course, ironic because, you know, Ian got famous from doing YouTube drama. Like, the entire reason they like have money to like buy a house or whatever, or, you know, I'm sure they're very wealthy at this point, is because of YouTube drama. They partook in it for fucking 6-7 years. She even helped Ian with those videos back in the day. And, you know, they can say whatever they want about changing this or changing that, but, you know, the idea that this guy is pissed that people are like engaging in YouTube drama, shouldn't you be happy about that? And even on top of that, like, the whole thing that makes these events exciting in the first place is drama. The thing that makes WWE or MMA is drama, right? It's the drama of it. It's fighters talking to each other. People love that stuff. It seems like at every turn, you know, Anissa and Ian are really just trying to shy away from anything remotely controversial, anything that's not super business friendly, business savvy. They want it to be like the most boring event ever. You know, it's really frustrating. And on his Twitter account, Sam has really been going off on Dad, who actually blocked him for what he said to him. It looks like Sam was challenging him to a fight, which would be crazy because Sam is, you know, much larger than him. But he was saying that basically to make it even, he would lose 70 pounds to make weight and get in the ring with him.
If he actually accepted it, would be such a bad move for me.
Yeah.
To go and get emaciated and then go fight someone.
I mean, for those of you guys who don't know, I believe Sam is like 6'5", so losing 70 pounds would be fucking insane. You know, he would look like an absolute like ghoul from Fallout. He would look like Slender Man if somehow he managed to pull that off. Unsurprisingly, trash content creator Dad/Nathan Barnett has declined my offer of me dropping 70 pounds and $100,000. So let's up the ante. I'll do $250,000 cash in the GT3 RS I own it outright. That's 500 grand for charity, Funko Pops, whatever you want. And following this, as I said, Dad decided to block Sam on both of his accounts, and shortly after, he actually deactivated both of his Twitter accounts. I guess he just didn't want to deal with the heat he was getting from this kind of stuff, from defending Anissa, from going after Froggy Fresh, that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And we also got some Discord messages from Dad's Discord server. I think it's a public server. I don't really know if these were like leaked technically, but basically he said that he's not interested in being involved with a person like that, in reference to Sam Hyde, of course. And he also said, nah, I have stuff I'm doing, making a movie later this year, not doing YouTube stuff and being involved with negative people. If I box again, it'll be with someone I respect and I'm friends with.
Dad's rationale for not accepting the fight, and I offered $250,000 cash and the RS, which is like now a $300,000 car.
Yeah.
His rationale for turning down $500,000 for charity. I said you could spend it on Funko Pops if he wants. His rationale for turning it down is that he's doing a movie. He's going to be in a movie.
Well, his movie's going to net millions, and all that's going to get donated, so he's just choosing right.
It's the right choice, ultimately.
And following all of this, Casey Tron actually decided to weigh in with the following retort, which got a lot of positive attention from her fans, and negative attention, obviously, from people who support Froggy Fresh, people who like Sam Hyde, and she went out to actually call Sam Hyde a Nazi. Casey Tron tweeted saying, Sam Hyde is an alt-right Nazi, and I'm glad he wasn't allowed on the stage. Why don't they just donate the charity money regardless? Oh, because it's not about charity, it's about their egos and putting a price on having the right to degrade women / be a Nazi. The garbage of the internet is still commenting on this post, crying about how nobody likes them or wants them around. Literal incel basement dweller neckbeards filling up my notifications with their f***ing stupidity. The incels think I'm an ugly fat woman who should make them a sandwich. Oh no. Why would you tweet this? What will I do? Imagine being an ugly f***ing piece of loser living in your mother's basement, terminally online, never had a girlfriend, thinking women online care that you think they are ugly. And it's really funny to see this tweet from Casey because she seems to have the impression that she's like above all these guys, above Sam Hyde, above his fans, when in reality, like, she's not even like 1/10 as popular as he is. Like, does anyone even care about Casey Tron? Does anybody watch Casey Tron? Correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that she's kind of not, you know, the hottest person on Twitch right now, and I wouldn't even call this out and like degrade her for it because I don't care, you know, the internet dick measuring contest is kind of dumb, but if she wants to go and engage in it and be like, they're all basement dwellers and nobody likes them, it's like, you know what, Casey, I think that more people probably like Sam Hyde than people like you. I don't think anyone really cares about you, to be honest. Like, you're forgettable. No one cares. And following this, I actually went to her Twitter account to see the person making such comments and, you know, calling them like ugly basement dwellers and stuff like that, incels, etc. I decided to, you know, go to her Twitter account and I found this picture. There's no comment I have really. I just, you know, Casey Tron. Now, the person she was responding to in the first place was Bo Blacks, the man who reads tweets, and he was basically pointing out that this entire event was meant to be for charity, but has now devolved into drama and really derailed the whole goal of Creator Clash to begin with, you know? I really thought the charities were the driving force behind iDubbbz Creator Clash, but seeing them turn down $600,000 to the charities, $100K to have Froggy Fresh fight again, and $500K for a bonus round of Sam Hyde versus Dad, it's clear that the charity stuff is just tacked on for optics. And the $100,000 he's referencing that isn't from Sam Hyde is from Jadion, who said that if he gets reinstated on the Creator Clash card, then he will donate $100,000 to charity, which is obviously huge. I mean, there's more money on the line now than there ever would have been if Froggy had just been, you know, in Creator Clash in the first place, right? Bo Blacks went on to say that it's super sad to see these YouTubers' pride and egos are more important to them than helping people in need. This whole thing has really ignited the commentary community. I mean, people like Bo Blacks, Augie, and Nick Diorio were chiming in. Obviously, I've been pretty vocal about it. I've done a few videos about it. And there's also been 2 Twitter Spaces 2 nights in a row, which for those of you who don't know, if you're not a terminally online brain dead Twitter user, Twitter Spaces are basically like a live show where different people can call in and, you know, the host can have other users come on to, like, you know, either join in on the conversation, but they're open to the general public so anyone can listen. It's like a live podcast type thing through Twitter. And the latest space drew a ton of attention from a ton of different people you maybe wouldn't expect. I mean, obviously in these Twitter spaces, you had the hosts, you know, the usual suspects like Keemstar, all the commentary dudes like Bo Blacks and Nick Diorio. Sam Hyde was also present for quite a bit of it. Jet Neptune was there. But there were also a lot of other listeners like Code Miko, Dr. Mike, Philip DeFranco, Pay Money Wubby. Matan was there for a second, but Keem kicked him off because he came in and was just kind of obnoxious, to be honest. Pat God was pretty active. He was saying a bunch of stuff. Jadion was there. Overall, there were just a ton of people tuning in, and I suspect that the entire situation is weighing pretty heavily on Anissa and Ian, you know? Apparently, she took to drinking to help her quell her sorrows over all the Twitter
time for another drink. She's just gonna drown herself in alcohol to forget the pain of the ramifications of her actions.
I noticed she's on private too. Like as soon as she was getting backlash, she privated herself. She curled
Really?
up in a ball. She started tweeting about how much she wants to drown away in alcohol. It's like,
Seriously,
wow.
this is like this is how a grown woman handles like a situation that she created. But okay,
And during this Twitter space, Harley of Epic Mealtime also came in to defend Anissa and Ian and basically said that he felt that they didn't do much wrong and he kind of sympathizes with them. Many felt he was going too hard on defending them, and Keem also responded to him personally by saying that there needs to be more communication from the Creator Clash team.
Epic Mealtime, Harley Plays. I got to ask you a question since you're the unofficial representative of Creator Clash. You're the only one that seems to be speaking. Like, we're not hearing anything directly from iDubbbz or Anissa, but we're hearing a lot from Harley. So I want to bring this question to you. Wouldn't it make more sense for Creator Clash, you know, iDubbbz or Anissa, to actually get on the phone with Froggy Fresh and try to work things out? Potentially make peace? Potentially put Froggy back on the card? Doesn't that make the most sense? Because when I do these polls and I see the reaction, not just from my community, my fans, but from like the comment sections of Philip DeFranco, Def Noodle, like all these other people that are covering the story, when I see their comment section, it appears to me that most people feel that Froggy Fresh got screwed over. Which means if there was an amends and he was put back on the card, that could only be beneficial to Froggy Fresh, Anissa, iDubbbz, Creator Clash, and all the charities involved. So again, back to the original question. Don't you think it would make sense for these parties to get on the phone and actually talk this out and try to make amends? Or no? Let me know. Because it seems like you're pushing this narrative. Screw Froggy. Froggy messed up. We're done with him. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I just want to know where you're at.
And there's also been what I believe is a semi-official announcement that Dick Masterson is going to be debating Harley, which should be pretty interesting to see. They're going to talk about iDubbbz and Anissa and the whole Creator Clash thing, so that's definitely one of those internet debates I'm excited for, you know? Seeing this drama go down has been really interesting as a fan of both iDubbbz and, you know, Sam Hyde. Or maybe at this point I'm more of a former fan of iDubbbz's content, but, you know, that's just kind of seeing the way things have gone recently. But watching Sam's stuff for the past 6 years or so and now seeing him interact with the commentary community and be like in the same call as Keemstar, who I like grew up watching, and you know he's kind of from my side of the internet. It's fucking wild, you know.
What the hell is this?
Is that her last name?
He's taken her last name. They married in June, with iDubbbz's last name changed from Washburn to Joma. My brother, oh man.
Man, I want to chat right now.
He is deeply in pain. Lost to Dr. Mike. And this is how much of a scorpion I am. I literally would have trained him to beat Dr. Mike too. And like done it in absolute good faith and like made a fun video with him about it.
I genuinely never thought I would see the day something like this would happen. If you had told me 6 years ago that Sam Hyde and iDubbbz would be in beef, like who would believe you? I would not. And yet here we are, you know, he's a part of the drama sphere, at least for the time being here on YouTube. Pretty damn wild, but you know, it is what it is. And at this point, this thing is about as big as it could be in the e-celeb drama YouTuber world, you know? You have Philly D talking about it, Scarce, Mudahar, Critical. The iDubbbz hate has really gone to a new level that we've never quite seen before. Whether you agree with the criticisms or not, here we are, right? And as a little bit of a side note, but you know, still pretty interesting, some people did some digging on Anissa and managed to find an old article from Kotaku titled "The Mom Who Moderates Her Daughter's Rowdy Twitch Chat." And this is basically an article that is actually about Anissa and her mom, and how her mom is like the internet police for her or whatever. It's a great read, and I think it really goes on to show that her mom is a little too involved in her online stuff, you know? At first, I was surprised. Maureen Jamha, 52, remembered when I spoke with her on Skype earlier this week. She was what you'd call a booby streamer. Yeah, I guess so. You know, where you'd attract viewers to your stream, trolls, who come to harass or hit on female streamers, she said. Jamha is now one of her daughter's most dedicated Twitch moderators, tasked with keeping Rainbow Kids' chat in line so it continues to abide by Twitch's terms of service. And even after consistently witnessing complete strangers sling some of the most shocking and offensive language possible against her daughter, she is also one of Rainbow Kids' most lenient mods, enforcing the streamer's come at me approach to trolls. So, I mean, it's just, you know, it's just a funny funny article. Not to be taken too seriously, but, you know, maybe you can extrapolate some of the points there and be like, maybe this kind of shows that her mom shouldn't be on Twitter defending her all the time. She gets a little too involved, you know. Probably shouldn't be calling Froggy Fresh an imp or whatever. Pretty majorly keck moment, if you ask me. Well, anyway, guys, that's about gonna wrap up today's video. If you have any thoughts on all this drama, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't like it, then be sure to leave a dislike and let me know why you hate me, why you hate, and I don't know, whoever else. And drop a comment down below letting me know how you feel about iDubbbz, Anissa, Harley, Froggy Fresh, and the whole Creator Clash drama as a whole. Join my Discord at turkeytom.gg and check out my site at turkeytom.net, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Bye.